निवासिनि विष्णुविलासिनि जिष्णुनुते.
First of all, we have never had much of individualism in India in the first place. India has kind of being a pretty group-oriented society itself. It's not a gigantic one large group, but there are different groups everywhere based on jati, varna, sampradaya, etc. everything. And then language, region, it's everything. People have always in India operated on based on those things. And after socialism arrived, there was even less amounts of individualism. All the individualism we know has come in India after 1990s, right? Now what we are seeing with that is that we are supposed to automatically become atheists and then make way for a vulnerability and a void which will be filled up by the pattharbaz, because neither are they educated, nor are they taking part in capitalism, nor are they giving up their religious customs. Now, when they say they are appreciating individualism or they give examples of individualism, is the American system where people individually do similar things. There's no arbitrarily fascinating real life example of individualism they are bringing to you which could convince you that individualism is absolutely phenomenally different or better than a group identity. Of course, I am not very pro group identity. I am against caste based discrimination or birth-based caste system. But what they think individualism is not exactly what happens in USA. America, where it's fundamentally focuses on individualism, there people individually do similar things. They watch baseball or football on the weekends. They put up an American flag on the backyard or on the balcony. They eat steak. They go hunting. Things that were conventionally American. So when people individually have a lot of things in their customs common, inside that framework, individualism can flourish. Individualism does not flourish in a vacuum. Okay, like wo famous quote, open societies and its enemies. Okay, open society does not mean ether, akasha, or just the world in general. An open society is maintained in a closed framework. That's what blind individualists or libertarians of India and in USA don't understand. It works. You can be individualistic. For example, you can have your own Ishta Devta only after you have your Kula Devta and your Grama Devta. And even on scriptural theory, Hinduism really does not need to be taught how to do individualism. It's based on your connection with your God, etc. Okay, your prayers, your conversations with God. It always encourages individualism anyway. And neither does it call for a community-based call for action. Ki jaake non-believer ko uda do. So there is a healthy balance in Hinduism itself. But what the modern individualism wala proponent is saying is that either none of these things matter or these things will happen anyway, magically, even if we focus everything on individualism. No, that individualism that you are noticing in France or in USA is because they have the framework, larger superstructure in place inside which people are being as individualistic as possible. France is very free and individualistic, right? In France, there is more racism than USA. And up until 5 or 10 years back, vegans were looked upon as absolute traitors to the country because meat eating is such a part of the custom in France. Okay, now there inside these societies, and then in USA the examples I gave, having a flag in front of your house, watching football on the weekends, having a barbecue with your neighbors, when these common social customs, cultural customs are in place, or going to the church on the Sunday morning, these systems are in place. Inside that they are doing their individualism, which we can also do. But the problem with our situation is that we are losing all of these regular customs that we grew up with. तो अगर कुछ भी कंजर्व नहीं होगा, कुछ भी सोसाइटी नहीं रहेगा, कुछ भी सोशल कल्चरल नॉर्म्स नहीं रहेगा, नॉर्म्स छोड़ो, वैल्यूज नहीं रहेगा, ट्रेडिशंस नहीं रहेगा, कस्टम्स नहीं रहेगा, उसके अंदर इंडिविजुअलिज्म नहीं होगा, उसके अंदर सिर्फ पत्थरबाजी होगा. What is individualism according to you? You being able to think beyond your group and creating your own destiny, creating your own choice, creating your own lifestyle. I agree with one thing, that practicing individualism is very easy for homogeneous societies. Exactly. थोड़ा बहुत homogeneity होगा, उसके अंदर individualism होगा. Exactly. Great points put forth by you. Thank you. Individualism is possible only in a homogeneous society. Yes. And now homogeneous society doesn't mean Saudi Arabia, but more or less homogeneous society. There has to be some ounce of homogeneity. Zero homogeneity से नहीं होगा individualism.
जय जय हे महिषासुरमर्दिनि रम्यकपर्दिनि शैल